Hello everybody, I'm Ariel. I'm 26 years old. I am single and dating. I am currently a licensed esthetician, doing facials, waxing, and all that good stuff. And a mommy of one.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Xavia Fox Talks, and you know I am still your host, Xavia Fox. Alright, so this is the second taping of the women's panel, and guess what we're talking about today? We are talking about men. That's right, we're talking about y'all. Well, they gonna talk about y'all. I'm just gonna sit back and listen. So, you know, if you got some beef with somebody, it's them. You see? All in them. It's all in them. Okay. But I know that you are going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy it. We got some great questions that came in that they're gonna discuss. And I'm not gonna stand up here and keep talking. Not for too much longer, but you know, anyway, we're gonna get started with the women's panel. All right, so here is the first question that the ladies are going to tackle. Do most men desire sex or relationships? And why do we have that opinion? So we're going to start that with Miss Suzette.
Throughout the course of the week, I've kind of had this conversation with a couple of people. And it seems as though men are more interested in sex than relationships. And I have that opinion because that's how they lead. They lead with sex. They lead with their dick. They want to know when we gonna fuck. They're not willing to do the 90 days. And just through my experience and talking to men, and especially at Urban Dialogue, and I think you can attest to this, that men say if you're holding out the sex, when they first meet you, that they are sleeping with somebody else. So it seems as though it's all about the sex, and relationship may or may not happen. And I, in the first taping, kind of made mention of, you know, with my ex-husband, we dated and didn't even kiss for a while. And then when he did kiss me, I knew what his intention was. But I think that women are jumping into bed with men who have this expectation, hoping to be in a relationship. And oftentimes men have no intention of being in a relationship, or maybe they won't even make or formulate an intention till well after you're having sex. But at any rate, I just think the sex, you have to build some sort of relationship to have the sex. But it seems as though the opposite is happening. Yeah. Anybody else agree?
I would say ditto.
I
don't have anything to add. I think you summed it up so well. It's like the relationship is an afterthought. You know, if they happen to look up and actually like the girl, then maybe they'll fall into a relationship, but chances are they won't. It does seem to me that men of all ages, from 22 to 72, are leading with sex, and the relationship they're really not too concerned about.
I have a really good friend. She was married 2 times, and she decided to join a dating website. Mm-hmm. And she met a guy, and he basically told her, I really want a relationship. I'm really sick of dating. I really, you know, he put that out there, like, you know, and she was like, well, that was, what I want to say, it was, no, it was just, it was,
right.
It was
I think it's strange for a dating website. Because if you're on a dating website, it seems as though you're looking for a relationship.
But there are dating websites that men use that because they know that women are vulnerable. And they feel like, well, I'm going to be on this website where all these people want to date and get married. And men be like, yeah, all the bitches think they go and marry their ass. I'm going to go get on this website. I'm going to get me some vulnerable ass. Because these women are, you know, they're vulnerable. They think that they're on a site where people are like-minded people. And just in any situation, you think that everybody's in church to learn about God, and that's not what the situation is. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that, you know, when a man really wants a relationship, and he wants a relationship with a particular, he leads with, he wants to be in a relationship. I think that, and when he wants to have sex with a woman, he leads that he wants to have sex with a woman. And just like you said, if he just happens to like her because he has maybe taken time with her, and the sex is good, and oh, by the way, she's a nice person. You understand what I'm saying?
She actually has conversation.
Yeah, right. You know, and she fry my eggs like I like them. You know?
Right.
I mean, it's like an afterthought. You know, but I do think there are men out here that are really. I have conversations with a few men that I really want to be in a relationship, and I'm telling them you're not ready because you're either asshole, you broke, you got baby mama drama, you got your mama drama, which is he living down with his mama.
Right.
You know, and I think that when a man is ready to date, and he really wants to find a mate, he needs to set himself up for that. He needs to be independent. He needs to have some kind of financial stability. He don't need to have a bunch of roommates. He don't need to be a roommate being his mama.
Right.
You know, or his daddy, or his living with his brother. I think that there are things that a man needs to set into place if he seriously wants to date and attract a woman that he really wants to marry. You can't be, you know, just kicking it with the boys. I doubt if you meet your woman, you know, just kicking it with the boys, you all dirty. You have to prepare yourself, you know, to attract what you want to attract.
But just, and I don't know, I just hear so many men saying that because ass is abundant, that they don't really necessarily need a relationship to have some ass.
Yeah. Right.
Because women are giving away a lot of ass.
Another man's hoe is another man's housewife.
Yeah, I'll give credit to men for one thing. They're usually very clear. If they want sex, they'll be very clear about saying they want sex. If they're looking for a relationship, they're ready to, you know, build their nest, look for their woman, then they'll tell you that. Right. So I think they're very clear about what it is they want. We just hear what we don't digest. We just hear what we want to hear. And you know, I got a good number of guy friends who are like serial monogamous, you know, who have never been out in the streets, who have never been out there hoeing or chasing this woman after that woman. So, you know, there are men out there who are looking for relationships. I just say with the vast majority are essentially just looking for sex.
Right.
But also I feel like people don't know how to hold a conversation anymore. I think that's all that some people have to offer is sex. Bam, that's all I can offer you. And I have whole friends, and I got ratchet friends, and I got
relationship friends.
I have all of that, and the conversation, the meet and greet, it goes all left. Especially you meet guys in the scene, you're out in the club, you've been drinking, you feeling some type of way. You ain't think about a conversation, so of course you gonna take it. Oh, she get it. I know I'm gonna get it. She gonna give it to me. I'm gonna take it.
Right.
And I think, unless the guy approach her in a whole nother way, even when she's not in her right mind, then that might, you know, sway him to go another way as far as, okay, maybe just this night that she's just feeling good, but she's not that type of person, I'm not even going to approach her that way. Some guys do that.
I think in a club, I think when you enter a club, I think any sense of right mind is, you left it in the car with your wife in your car. I really think in a certain setting, you should not be looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right.
No, I think you can find Mr. or Mrs. Right in any setting. It's just how you approach somebody, how it goes that first. I feel like the initial meeting is where it's going to go from Jump Street. You can meet somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning at the Polish stand, and he could be thinking one thing, you could be thinking another thing. But once you lay it down, like, no, buddy, you can't call me tonight. You're not going with me tonight. This ain't that. Let me get my Polish.
Right.
You know, once you lay that law down, and they're like, okay, you know, maybe it could go another way. But I think women now is so quote unquote independent. I'm just gonna fuck you, and that's it. And then we screwing ourselves because then we're really looking for a relationship. Okay, that's all you know been putting out here. I just want you for sex. You don't even know how to put out there that you want to be in a relationship. Yeah. So God's gonna give what you give them. Oh, we fucking. Hey, she want to be independent. She want to work and do that. Okay, I'm gonna let you do that. I'm gonna come fuck you tonight, and that's it. That's all. Because that's how you laid it down. I don't need you for that.
You wake up in the morning singing Beyonce songs.
A guy is always gonna test you.
Yep.
He's always gonna see what you're gonna go for, and that doesn't mean he's a good guy or a bad guy. But basically, you're kind of setting the standard as to how a guy is gonna treat you, whether you're gonna be the booty call or whether you're gonna be potential wifey material. Now, some guys just generally are not looking for a relationship. Those guys are like serial daters. They've got a lot of women who they can call. They don't want to be responsible to anybody. They don't want to have a whole lot of drama. If you give them flack about something, they call the next person. If she gives him flack, he calls the next person. And then maybe 3 months have gone by since he talked to you, so he figured you ain't mad.
Vision Rock Studios in 1906 and a half, South Halsted here in Chicago.
If you've ever dreamed of becoming an entrepreneur and don't know where to start, The Entrepreneur Within You by Julie Holloway is a must-read. Holloway and 17 co-authors share advice and inspiration that can save you from serious business blunders. So purchase your copy today on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. The Entrepreneur Within You. Empowering, equipping, inspiring.
Adam no more, you gotta call him up and see what you want again, because he's rotating it like that. You know, then you have some guys who may be interested in a relationship, but if you go, they will take you there. Yes. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they don't want to be in a relationship, but if off the bat you know, are like, hey, easy pickings here, then that's how they're going to take it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, they will or will not look at you as relationship material, but I feel like it kind of sets an odd precedence unless you're, you know, everybody's like got this one exception to the rule, this friend they know who got with this guy on the first day and then they fell in love, got married, and yada yada yada. But that is not the norm. Everybody should not be setting themselves up for that fairy tale life. If you want somebody to treat you like relationship, then you're going to have to treat yourself like your relationship material. For instance, you know, for me, if you can't pick up the phone and call me, I just don't see how we having a report. Texting back and forth, it's just the wackest thing ever. I don't know who you are.
And it's cowardly.
We just met. It's cowardly. I can't get any kind of vibe on you. I don't know. And it just shows a lack of interest. If you are so interested in me, it takes a few minutes to call and say, hey, what's up? Are we still on for Friday? Okay, what do you like to do? Okay, then we'll do this, yada, yada, yada. Then maybe you can send a little text, you know, to update the situation. If our whole date and everything since the time I met you has been set up by text messages, I'm horribly uninterested. Not to mention, I don't have time in my brain to keep texting you. That takes a lot of time to keep texting somebody you don't know back and forth to get out a conversation that could have been had in 5 minutes. So, I mean, but if you're going for that, then, you know, then it is what it is. I mean, some of this stuff, I think women, this is where I will say women have to take some responsibility for, because, you know, I just feel like they're gonna get away with what you let them get away with. A man always wants sex, okay? Now, that don't mean he don't want nothing else.
I think a lot of women go for the sex, thinking and hoping that it's gonna lead to a relationship.
Look, when I was doing my thing, after I had my moment with God, and I told him I was just gonna kick it, when I was doing my thing,
Remember that?
Hey, God, I got a moment.
I'm just gonna kick it for a minute. Give me a little while before I talk to you. If that was the case where I felt like me and a man were intimate and it was very close and I just felt like that's just what I wanted to do, I really, in all honesty, didn't want to have too much to do with that guy after that night. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to figure out what this means. Are you going to call? Are you not going to call? Blah, 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 blah. This was what it was. I realized that I put myself out there like that. And that's not necessarily what I want. So, you know, we can keep that off to the side. Now, if perhaps in 3 months, when that girl and that girl and that girl that you've been running through are, you know, you want to call and go out to dinner, if I'm interested, then hey, you know, we can do that. You know, I loved going out to dinner. Yes. I was dating, but there has to be something going on, some kind of interest, maybe a conversation, chemistry, something that would keep me engrossed for this limited time engagement. Not for this long-term potential relationship material, but being very clear that if you set up that relationship with a guy on those terms, then you're dealing with him limited time engagements. These are not potential romantic endeavors. And I think a lot of women play themselves because they say in their head, oh, I'm an independent woman. I'm out here, I can do what I want to do. I don't catch no feelings. And they always be catching.
Those ones that sag your tires and bust your collar.
They don't know when to back up. They don't won't read the signs. When the guy is not calling you, when he's not pursuing you, then it's time to just cut your losses and move on instead of going, why isn't he calling me? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? And then you talking about how independent you are, but really you weren't able to separate the limited time engagement from a long-term engagement.
I think independent women should come with batteries because you should do everything by your damn self.
Oh.
You know that B.O.B. You need to hook up with your B.O.B. I hate that independent type of woman, type of scenario. A woman, I don't need no man. I want a man. No. You need a man. You need a man. I can't. You need a man. It balances you out. To me, you can't really say you're a whole woman and not have a man. It might not be the man laying in the bed next to you. It could be your father.
Can we just say a partner?
No.
I feel whole with a woman.
No.
Just so you know. I'm not pointing to you like it's not her. Right. Just for the record.
No.
With a partner
out on camera. But I'm not saying
with a partner.
But a man in general. When a woman says she doesn't need a man, I don't always go to a sexual partner. I mean a man. Period. She needs a father. She might need a uncle, a male friend, and you need that balance. You need that balance of energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even if if you want to say I don't need a man, just say I don't need a partner. But you do need a man. You know what I'm saying? Most of my best friends are men.
The problem is men don't need us. They need sex and not the relationship. Period. I mean, that was what the question is.
They need us more than they think.
Right.
But
They just aren't aware of how much they need us as well. They think women need men, and that that here I am on my manly throne, and all these women they flock to me, throw themselves upon my feet, and I choose and pick because I need none of them. And it's like, get your life. You are happiness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your cholesterol is high. Somebody needs to make a doctor's appointment for you. You know.
Forgot your mama's birthday.
There's a very symbiotic balance, but the issue is both people have to realize the value in the other half. And I think men are beautiful and have gorgeous energy when they realize who they are and when they make the decision to stand and grow in their manhood instead of to run from it and to take on this new, what I call bitchalization.
Put that on a t-shirt if you will.
Okay, these men are being bitchalized to the left and to the right. It's like they're reverting. Instead of them becoming stronger, becoming, warriors and becoming leaders in the community, they want to go backwards and become, I want to get taken care of. I want you to open my door. I want you to pay my bills. I want you to take me out. And all that's okay sometimes if you want to do role reversal, but that ain't your role. So you need to stay in your place.
Role reversal. We stray so far from it, we don't even know what the question is.
Do they want
the question
was,
do most men desire sex or relationships, and why do you have that opinion?
When I read that question, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, well, why are you asking us what? Are you asking me what we think men want? Because it's not really about what they want. Honestly, if you're asking us, it's what we want. I'm sorry. I'm looking too. It's what we want, and I think when women don't know how to project what they want, a lot of time they tend to think they let the man lead or they let the male lead, because if he was a man he wouldn't lead you astray, but they let the male lead where this relationship is going to go. We kind of sit around and we kind of wait. Is he going to come in? Oh, I'm just waiting on this conversation. Is it? Who does that? I mean, but are you women?
Continue with the beatbox.
We're talking about women who like men, not women with options.
But even still, if a man approaches me, he is supposed to lead. He is supposed to lead. Now, it is up to me to decide, do I want to follow his direction? So, if he's leading me to the bed and and that's not what I want, then I don't follow that.
But a lot of women will do that.
If he leads in a way that I understand he is looking for and wants a relationship, now we can have some conversation. So men are supposed to lead.
Well, but I did say
decide
men.
Who to follow.
I said men will lead. I did say men. There's a difference between a man and males, and I said males. You know what I'm saying? Males will, they just do whatever. A man will lead you. I would allow a man to lead me. I will allow a male friend who I feel has my best interest at heart to give me direction, and I will take that direction with heart and follow that direction. I'm just talking about males in general, and I think that women do. A lot of women think, well, I'm just gonna let the man lead, and he can pick the restaurant, and he can do this, and I'm gonna let him come and go, and he gets ready. When he's committed, he's gonna see that I was everything he wanted me to be. I'm just so giving, and I'm just giving him everything he wants, and he was like, she's a big give, and leave your ass to somebody who didn't give right, and he leeway. Right, and he's gonna continue to fuck her, and then the woman he's madly in love with is the woman who gives him the most fucking drama. The woman that don't want to take no, you can't come in here and you get around the car. Right.
Yeah. Question.
Right. Waiting at the water.
Okay, so I think one of the things that we should take away from that is we have the difference between men and males. That was kind of pointed out. Y'all should tune into that, because which one are you?
Wow.
I just asked the question.